Hello, hello, hello. It's Dr. Brandi. You know me. I am your triple board adult psychiatrist, child and adolescent psychiatrist, and pediatrician. I'm also your expert in all things ADHD and children's mental health, and I help worried and overwhelmed moms and dads gain confidence and education about their children's mental health issues so that they can help their children do three things: make better grades, improve their behaviors, and also be the best persons that they can be. Today, I wanted to come before you to discuss the current events that are going on in our nation, as well as anxiety and depression that can happen as a result of them, and things that you need to look out for, and also things that you can do to help your children and also yourself overcome some things that can be worrisome. 2020 has been quite the year. It started off with many thinking that this would be the year of perfection, as 2020 vision implies that you see just right. January was off to a great start. New Year's Day was great. Valentine's Day was great in February. And then by March, there was a lot of uncertainty about how a safe and appropriate way would be to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. The year kind of took a turn from there. Suddenly, things that we had prepared for days to weeks and sometimes even years, we were not even able to do. And we found ourselves in our homes with the ones that we loved, preferably for most folks. And we were celebrating differently, educating differently, working differently, partying differently, and even mourning differently. Most of all, we were worshiping differently, and in a way that none of us had ever done in our lifetimes. And so just about the time that coronavirus, which became a household name, just about the time that it was slowly starting to have a lesson effect, or at least those in government thought, such that we could open up and start to resume some parts of normalcy again, we were hit with a second trauma. So Corona was our first, and now a second trauma, being that there were 3 murders that we heard about against African Americans, 2 at the hands of police officers. And then within the same week of learning of the 3rd murder, we learned that, and we have witnessed, even ongoing as I speak, that there are still areas of unrest throughout our country. All of these events are traumatic, and our children get to see it as we do face to face. Now, if I were reading a book with all of the things that I just mentioned as traumas, a virus that changed our lives, murders that took over our world, and then our country being just in a state of uncertainty right now, someone would say, oh my goodness, this is awful. And you'd be nervous for the people, you'd pray for them and all of those things. But we're living it day to day, every day. And so I just want to offer some words of encouragement and things to watch out for your children, as I've said. And I'm going to use for a way for you to remember it, that you should use your 6 senses. Now, I know what you're thinking. We only have 5. But the other one is common. All right. So we're going to start with your eyes. As far as detecting things that could be wrong, I want you to watch your children. Just look at them. See what they're doing differently. Look at who they're hanging with. Look at who they're talking about. Make sure that you are their friends on social media. And if you need to, and you find that it is appropriate, you may need to look into their phones. You can find all sorts of good things. A way that you can use sight as a way to help with making things better for them would be to go and see a new movie, sightsee, Both of those are things that use vision and will help to get your child back grounded into where they need to be. The second thing that you can do is use your sense of smell. You can use your sense of smell to detect things that are not as they should be. Smell for body odor. If your child has not bathed in several days, this could be a sign of depression. So you want to know about that. You could also smell for unusual substances and alcohol, marijuana, cigarettes, things of that nature. Adults and children alike do what we call self-medication, which means that they don't really know that I can go and see my primary care provider or a mental health provider and get mental health treatment. And so they take matters into their own hands and do what their friends suggest. You can use your sense of smell to help your children by just going outside and smelling the roses. I did a live a little bit earlier at the beginning of the pandemic about being outside and all of the benefits of the sun. Vitamin D, energy, and even treatment for seasonal affective disorder, which is a form of depression. So you want to be able to use your nose as well. You want to be able to use your ears to listen. Listen to your children. Gone are the days of children being seen and not heard. Children have a lot to say, but we need to make sure that we are there to listen and that we are not dismissive. Give them words to use to help them with what they need to say. And we may find that they can use those words in a way and substitute some of the behaviors that they may have, such as irritability and acting out. You can treat using your ears by music. Music is a universal mood lifter. And we have found that several artists, since we've been in our pandemic state and a lot of stay-at-home orders have been in place, a lot of the musicians have been given free concerts. There are versus battles between artists that are occurring, and all of these are to lighten the mood, if you will. So we can use our ears to both listen and detect problems and also as a way to treat them. Then we can use our sense of taste. We can watch for our children's appetite. Changes in appetite can signify depression or anxiety even. So if there are drastic changes in weight, you want to be paying attention to those so that you can intervene appropriately and quickly. You can use a sense of taste also as treatment. Getting in the kitchen and trying new recipes, or even going to a new or your favorite restaurant, grabbing takeout if you're not comfortable dining in, and then bringing it home. Eating together, again, could incorporate both the listening aspect and the taste aspect. The fifth thing that I want you to do is to use your sense of touch in order to keep an eye on your children. If you notice that your children are now isolating and do not care to be with a family anymore, then you want to keep an eye on that. Children isolate for a variety of reasons. And so it could be something as simple as they aren't feeling good or they're depressed. It could also be something more drastic, such as using drugs. So you do just want to keep an eye on if they no longer want to be touched. You can use touch as a form of treatment by just hugging and kissing your kids. You can probably recall just about everyone that one time that a teacher, a spouse, a loved one just could tell it was a bad day for you and they hugged you in the way that you exhaled. And that is because we know that touch is good for our soul. And then the sixth sense that I want you to use is just common sense. In this time of coronavirus and all of the other traumas that we and our children are being exposed to, I just want to remind you to unwind, rewind, turn the TV off, unplug. It is okay to miss which city has now been added to the list of cities that are having demonstrations. It is okay to unplug your phone. It is okay to not check your emails. In fact, you have to do that. Do those things that help you relax. And maybe some of you need to find something new, because relaxing is something new for you. But whether it be reading a book, writing a book, knitting, swimming, if you have somewhere safe that you can socially distance and swim, any of those are going to be things that will take you back to life before these traumas. But you certainly don't want to be in a situation where you continue to traumatize yourself. Exercise good judgment. Just because you are able to do something does not mean that it is a good idea to do something. So make sure that despite what the rules are, that you're exercising the best judgment that is best for you and your family. You may be someone who is strictly isolating and only comes out every 6th day. But if your children really need to get out because they were social butterflies, well, then this may be making their mental health worse off than their physical health is. And I'm not so sure that in the end that is better for anyone. So make sure that you're doing what's best for your family and exercising good judgment in that way. And then also just make sure that you're in a safe environment for yourself and your kids. Our kids often feed off of our energy, and they simply reproduce whatever it is that they see us do. So if they see us full of anxiety, that may be what they reproduce. And if they see us full of calmness, thinking things through, having a plan, executing and following it through, then they are much more likely to do that as well. I want you all to take care of yourselves. These are very difficult times for everyone, no matter what your beliefs are, no matter what your race is. This is just a very unusual time for us all. And so always make sure that you are abiding by the rules that have been set forth by those people put in place to give us good, sound medical advice about social distancing, hand washing, mask wearing, which of course the latter is still the law in Birmingham, Alabama. You want to make sure that you're surrounding yourself with people who are positive. It is no doubt that what you put into the brain, a lot of times you will get out. And so if you're putting positive things out, you are definitely more likely to get positive things out. I'm sorry, if you put positive things in, you're more likely to get positive things out. And make sure you get some good sleep. Make sure you eat a healthy diet. Make sure you exercise. So all the things that you would have needed or been advised to do in the past, you really want to be doing those things now. All right, that is it for now. I hope that you have had a good May, a great May, in fact, and that you have been mentally healthy. And as we prepare to go into June, I pray that all of the best is yet to come. You will be hearing from and seeing me more often, but I just could not let May leave without letting you know I was thinking about you, and I wanted to give you some tips that could carry you throughout the rest of the year in actuality. Use those 5 senses, with the bonus being common, and I will talk to you all soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.